Good morning, everyone. I hope you have gone through session 1 and session 2. So today we are going into session 3. Here we mostly concentrate on how to write a script file. So far we were discussing about the functions, the syntax, everything we have written in command window, and we have seen that whether it is working properly, how it will execute, all those things we have discussed in session 1 and session 2. In this session, we're going to discuss about how to write a script file. Okay, so first, script files are like the actual programming. So you'll be writing the entire program, and then you start after writing the entire program, you can run the program, and it will give you the final output. Okay, sometimes you may need this user to input some data. Maybe sometimes it's not necessary, like example, you need to add 5 numbers. So that 5 numbers are random numbers. So you need to ask to the user who is using that program to enter the 5 numbers and get those values, and finally show the result to the user. So this whatever we are typing and whatever the input we are given to the program and whatever the output we are getting from the program, this too will be happening in command window. So you will be writing the program in a different file, but once you execute it, the input and output will be displayed, or input will be given through the command window. So command window is also important there while we are discussing about the script file. Okay, so before going into that, I'll show you that how it looks. So yeah, as we know that there are so many sections in MATLAB, mainly current folder, command window, and workspace that we have discussed already. So here in the home tab, you go to home tab, there is something called new script. So if I'm just going to click that new script, so if you click the new script, you can see that there is a new script is opened. That window is called editor window. That window is called editor window. So whatever you write inside the editor window, that will not be executed line by line like a command window. For example, a equal to 5. Okay, I suppress the answer. Look, so see here in the workspace, the variable a is the value is 5. At the same time, in the program, I'm going to write a is equal to 5. It will not execute. Okay, b may be same value, b equal to 5. It will not execute. So how it will be executed? After writing the entire program here, you can see here that editor will be turned on. Once you have the editor window, the editor will be turned on. In that you have a new, open, save. There are so many options are there here, and there is option called run. You have to run it. If any error is there, that error will be displayed in the command window. If there is no error, and if you want some input from the user, that input will be displayed here. So through this one we will be entering the inputs through the command window. Okay, this is how it works. So we'll start learning how to write a script file. Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay, so first we are going to write a very small program in the script window. So in the editor window, that is a script file, and you will be saving this particular file as .m. So .m indicates the MATLAB file. So you'll be saving this particular file as. So in command window, you cannot do that, right? So command window, you just type it and execute it. You cannot save as a file or something. Okay, you can just copy paste to some other file, that is different. But here, whatever you're writing in the script window or the editor window, that can be saved with the .m format. Okay, so here in this particular problem, like the first problem, you can say that to add 2 numbers. Okay, let's take, I'm just going to write this program inside MATLAB, and I'll explain to you how it works. This is how we'll write a. So what we need, I need 2 numbers to add. So these keywords are very easy. Like I need some values to be added, and that 2 numbers are there, a and b. That has to be input. that has to be given by the user. So we will use a code, or we'll use a function called input of. So whatever is written inside the input, that will be displayed in the command window. So I can enter the number. So if you look at this one, A and B, here A and B is there, right? A and B, sorry. Yeah, A and B are two variables, A and B. So what that variable does, it will take the value from the command window, whatever the value the user is entering, that value will be stored in A and B. And what is C? C is nothing but the summation of A and B. So A plus B I'll just put. Now what I need finally I need to display those values. Display the answer, right? I need to, like maybe in C you have used printf, fprintf or something. Fprintf also you can use it in MATLAB. So here anyway we are going to use disp. So instead of display we are going to use disp. Okay. So once you have the display, this I'll explain later. Let's see how it works. So anyway, I'm just going to run the program. Once I run the program, it will ask to save somewhere. Let me take here. I'll give some of numbers. Sum of numbers, I'll save it. So you have to save it without space. Okay, so see here, once I run it, the program is right, so that it will show the enter the first number. Enter the first number. So previously, if you look at the workspace, previously we have assigned a value of A here, 5. That is not yet changed. So enter the first number. Let's take I'm putting 10 is the first number. We enter the second number. Second number I'll just take 9. So input is over. These are the inputs. So whatever you write inside the input in the single inverter, and that is a purple, tend to be purple color. So whatever you write in between this one, that will be displayed. So enter the second number is 9. So I press enter. You will be having that sum of two numbers are 19. The answer is there, and you can see here that variable A is also changed here. Now I just want to discuss about this particular part. So if you look at this one, display always disp, the keyword disp will be always displayed characters. It will be displaying the characters. So but what we need, we have a value, we have an integer, right? We have a number here. So that number also has to be displayed. So we know that using the display of, I can just write sum of two numbers. That is fine. But I need to show the answer also, right? The answer, since this is a character or string, you can say that this is a string, right? That is a combination of characters, is nothing but the string. So string is there, and string has this will be displayed in the command window, whatever, sum of two numbers. But if you want to show the number, also is possible. Number you want to change it. Like example, in this particular problem, just open this one, and I'm just going to take this part, and we'll just play in command window just for this. Okay, escape. Right now I just remove this one, and I'm only putting this one. That is, look, sorry, this square bracket is not there. So once you are having only strings, you don't need the square bracket there, only the normal bracket. So sum of two numbers. So whatever you write, it's like a legend, it's like input, same thing. Whatever you display of a string is there is fine. Now if I remove this one and put the C value, it will be displayed. See, C is what? C is nothing but this summation of 10 and 9, A and B, that is 19. So it is possible. So here the display of C means it's an integer. Display of sum of two numbers means it's a displaying the string. But once you both are there, you cannot have it. You cannot use disp just like that, because you are having a string as well as a number. Both are there. The combination is there. That is the reason we use this particular format. So see here, sum of two numbers, comma, whatever the value you want, that has to be converted into string. That has to be converted into string. So that is why it's called int to string. Integer to string. That is what it means. Int to str of c. That means that c value will be converted into a string, so that we can directly display this one. And make sure that once you are doing the combination of string and the number, you have to use a square bracket also. Okay, so instead of that into str, I can have, I'll put another one, num to str. That is also possible. There is another code is called num to str, that is number to string. So if you want a combination of string and number, you must use this one. The syntax is nothing but there is a square bracket. So we can say that like this, display of square bracket, the three numbers are something, some is there, comma, what I need, int to str of a or something. This is a number, this is a string. Okay, so into str, int to str, or we can use num to str. We can say that converting integer or number to string. I hope you understood that. Okay, so like that we can do. So this is how we write a small program. So finally, see here, this is saved in one file. You can see that where it is saved. In desktop, there is a folder called MATLAB files. In that, sum of two numbers, you can see this is your so I just close this one here, and if I double click this one, I can have this script file. Okay, then just run it, it will work. Okay, fine. Okay, now we'll go to the one more problem. Yeah, plotting a straight line. Okay, what is it? Plot a straight line using script. So straight line, what are things we need? Okay, so here we will do a little more detailed way. And always remember, like if you just go to a new script file and then writing the thing. So if you put like this, some comments, this is called comments that we have discussed already. Percentage symbol after is written, it we consider as a. It is a very good practice to use this one so that we can easily understand what exactly the program is somebody else is reading. So for writing a, so to find a straight line, to draw a straight line, we need the m value. That is, we know that equation is nothing but y is equal to mx plus c. So we need a range of x value, we need a slope, and you need an intercept, right? Y intercept should be there. So this many values. So m we can get it from somewhere from the user, and c also we can get it from the user. And obviously the x value we can take it from some value to some value. Okay, so since here we will take from a minus x value to plus. So in this case we can take it from minus 10 to 500. Because so many point means you will be getting a proper line. Okay, so minus 10 is not necessary. You can go with any other number also, no problem. Okay, let's see how the answer is 10. Okay, so first what is there? I need the slope value, right? So I'm writing m, a variable is introduced m, that is nothing but slope. So I can enter, once I run the program, I have to enter this value. And the next one is input intercept, input of intercept. So intercept also, c value should be input into the program. So m and c. Now after inputting, this m and c will be defined. Now x value what I need? I need a n number of points, so that x is minus 10 initial value. and this is your final value. Sorry, minus 10 to 10 is the range, initial value, final value, and the number of divisions, 500 divisions. Since this is a straight line, it's not necessary that you have to go with a higher division also. Okay, so this one we discussed, so that now we are having an array of 500 elements. So what the equation is what? Mx plus c. So m is a constant value. That is the reason we are not putting dot star here. If it is m is an array, then we must be putting dot star because array multiplication. So here is just a constant value plus c. Now after that we can just plot x comma y. Next axis x label and y label you can give, and titles also you can give. So after that you just run the program. So you have to write the name as straight line. Okay, so see here in the command window the program is right, the command window slope is asked. So I'll just give the slope is how much I can give, some value I just give randomly. Interceptor minus 8 I'm giving. So I should get a, yeah, this is your graph. So this is how you have to run a program. So x-axis, y-axis, graph, or straight line using script, that is my title. And if you want, you can put the legend, color, you can change everything you can done using whatever we discussed in the session 1 and 2. Okay. And that figure you can save it also. 1 second, I can put. You can just go here and save as whatever the format figure is there, JPG, everything is there. You can just save this image. You can save the image. Again, you can rotate and all that. You can see different way. You can 3-dimensional also. You can make it 3-dimensional. All this you can do it. Okay, that's it. We will continue in the next class. Okay, so start doing this coding, and it's not very difficult. Go through one by one. It's very easy to understand. Okay, so thank you. We will do some more problem in the next class.